income and its constituents, section 2 subsection 24. So that point we are going to discuss in this video. Now, what is the meaning and definition of income? So in that, income is a periodically monetary return with some sort of regularity. So here two words are mentioned. It is periodically monetary return. Monetary means it is received in terms of money and with some sort of regularity. Some sort of regularity means if it is received in irregular way, then also it is considered as income. But there is some, if there is some sort of regularity, then you can say that it is a income. Generally, the word income covers receipt in the shape of money or money's worth, which arises with certain regularity. However, all receipts do not form the basis of taxation under the act. That means whatever you have received is not considered as basis for taxation. Some receipts are taxable, otherwise some are also not taxable. Now, income for the purpose of Income Tax Act includes. So here also this definition is inclusive. In one of the video I already told you there are three types of definition: inclusive definition, exhaustive definition, and hybrid definition. And meaning of income is inclusive definition, and each of these will be covered in respective chapter. So first of all, one by one, just we have to read the topics. What are the different types of income that comes across, like profits and gains, dividends. Now, voluntary contribution received by charitable and religious trust or institution, or by certain research association or university and other educational or hospital and other medical institution, or an electoral trust. That means if voluntary contribution is received by, means if any voluntary contribution is received by this institution, then that will become income for that particular institution. Then value of any perquisite or profit in lieu of salary taxable under section 17, means over and above salary, if any facility is received, over and above salary, if any facility is received by a employee, then that facility is also considered as income of that particular employee. So that they want to say here, and it is known as perquisite also. Any special allowance or benefit other than perquisite included above, means any other special allowances which is not covered in perquisite will also include here. Then any allowances granted to assessee, any allowances granted to assessee to meet his personal expense at the place where the duties of his office or employment of profit are ordinarily performed by him, or at a place where and he ordinarily reside, or to compensate him for the increase of cost of living. So any other living to compensate his cost of living, or where he is staying, to compensate their staying, any extra allowances is provided, like city compensatory allowance example is, so that allowance is also considered as income of that particular person. Now, the value of any benefit or perquisites, whether convertible into money or not, obtained from a company either by a director or by a person who has a substantial interest in the company, or by a relative of a director or such person, or any sum paid by such company in respect of any obligation which, but for such payment, would have been payable by the director or other person aforesaid. That means what? If any value or any benefit or perquisite, whether convertible into money or not, obtained from a company either by a director, means if company is getting any money from director, or by a person who is having substantial interest in that company. Now here also there is one MCQ which may come, who is having substantial interest in the company. Then answer is the person who is having 20%, more than 20% of voting power, is having substantial interest in that company. So that you have to remember. If he is providing any benefit to the company, then it is considered as income of that particular company. Now, next one is the value of any benefit or perquisite, whether convertible into money or not. Means if any value or any benefit which is convertible into money or not, which is obtained by any representative assessee or by any beneficiary or by any amount paid by the representative assessee for the benefit of the beneficiary, which the beneficiary would have ordinarily been required to pay. Like some amount is to be paid by Mr. X, but if it is paid by Mr. Y, in that case, it is considered as income of Mr. X. Next one, profits and gains of business or profession chargeable to tax under section 28. So whatever profits and gains arises by doing some business activity, that is chargeable under section 28. So that is also considered as income of that particular business. Deemed profit chargeable to tax under section 41 or under section 59. Any capital gains chargeable under section 45. Now you know what is capital gain. When you sold any capital asset, when then whatever gain arises, it is known as capital gain. It may be long term capital gain, it may be long short term capital gain. Then profits and gains of any insurance business carried on by mutual insurance company or by cooperative society, computed in accordance with section 44, or any surplus taken to be such profit or gains by virtue of provision contained in first schedule to the act. Means any profit and gains of insurance business is also considered as income of that insurance business. Then profits and gains of any business of banking carried on by a cooperative society with its member is also considered as income of that cooperative society. Any winning from lotteries, crossword puzzles, race including horse race, card games and other games of any sort, or from gambling or betting any form or nature whatsoever. So that means this is also income of that person who is winning the prize amount. Any sum received by SSE from his employee as a contribution to any PF Provident Fund, SAF Statutory Annuity Fund, and ESI Employee State Insurance Scheme. So that is why if any amount received by from his employee, means if employee is providing any amount to its PF account, SAF account or ESI, then it is considered as income of employer until unless and until employer transfer that amount into their PF account before due date. If it transfer before due date, then it will be employer will get the deduction for the same also, but right now it is considered as income. Any sum received under a Keyman insurance policy including bonus on such policy. That means if any person is receiving any amount under Keyman insurance policy, then also it is considered as income. Any sum referred to clause 5A of section 28, thus any sum whether received or receivable in cash or kind under any arrangement for not carrying out any activity in relation to any business or profession, or not selling any know-how, patent, copyright, trademark, license, franchisee, or any other business or commercial right of a similar nature or information or technique likely to assist in the manufacturing or processing of goods or provision of services shall be chargeable to income under tax under the head profits and gains of business and profession. Means if any person is receiving any income for doing something, then also it is income. But sometime any person receive income for not doing something, like not sharing something, not sharing information, not sharing copyright, trademark, patent, etc., then also if he receives any income, then it is considered as income of that person. Now next one is fair market value of inventory which is converted into or treated as a capital asset. If fair market value, if you have any inventory and if you have converted into capital asset, then also it is a income. Any consideration received for issue of shares exceeding their fair market value. If you issue any equity share more than its fair market value, then it is considered as income under section 56 subsection 2 clause 7b. Any sum of money received as advance if such sum is forfeited consequent to failure of negotiation for transfer of capital asset, means there is a agreement between two parties. Now that agreement fails, an amount is forfeited by the person. In that case, whatever advance money received by first person will be considered as income of that first person. Any sum of money or value of property received without consideration or for inadequate consideration by a person, that is a gift. So gift is also considered as income of that person who is receiving the gift. Then compensation or other payment due to or received by any person in connection with the termination of his employment or modification of terms and condition of relating thereto. If there is a change in terms and condition of a particular employment, now in for that, if he employee receive any amount, then it is considered as income of that person, and it is chargeable under the head income from other source because section 56 is applicable. Now, assistance in the form of subsidy or grant or cash incentive or duty drawbacks or waiver of concession or reimbursement by central government or state government or any authority or body in case or kind. Now, here there are so many words. Now, what is subsidy? Subsidy means one type of help given by government. Duty drawback. What is duty drawback? Or waiver means any duty paid at the time of export, and at the time of export whatever duty paid by exporter, it will be given back to the exporter by the government, so that will become income of that person in certain cases. Now reimbursement means if any expenditure is reimbursed by some central government or state government, then also it is considered as a income of that person. It may be in cash, it may be in kind. However, subsidy or grant or reimbursement which has been taken into account for the determination of actual cost of depreciable asset in accordance with explanation 10 to section 43 subsection 1 shall not be included in the definition of income. So if any subsidy or grant or reimbursement is given by for the depreciable asset with accordance to explanation 10 section 43 subsection 1, then it is not a income of that person. So these are these point that you have to keep in mind. Small questions can be asked, or one 5 mark question can be asked from it. Now in that, explain the meaning of income under section 2 subsection 24, and from that now you have to write down certain points, 12 to 10 to 12 points. If it is asked in 5 marks, small point, write down all the points which cover here, and you will get full marks for the same. If you have any doubt, then in this point, then you can write down in a comment box. Now, second point is regularity of income. Income means periodically monetary return coming from a definite source with some sort of regularity. However, this does not mean that income which does not arise regularly will not be treated as income for tax purpose. For example, winning from lottery, card game, etc., which do not arise from definite source and do not have element of regularity, are specifically included in the income under Income Tax Act. So that means regularity, don't stick to the rule regularity. Sometimes some income doesn't have element of regularity, then also it is considered as income. Even a single transaction can constitute a business. Repetition of such business transactions, repetition of such transaction is not necessary under the Income Tax Act. Even single transaction can attract income tax and it is considered as income. Now cash versus kind. The income received by assessee need not to be in the form of cash only. It may also be some other property or right which has monetary value. Wherever wherever income is received in kind like perquisite, then their value has to be found as per the perquisite rules, and this value shall be taken into the to be the income. That means sometimes perquisite is received in not in the monetary terms, but it is received in kind. Now in that case, what you have to do? In that case, you have to convert that amount into value of kind, means you have to find out the value. like a motor car. If employer provides motor car, in that case what you have to do, you have to find out the value of motor car as per the rules given in prescribed. And if value comes 50,000, now person income is increased by 50,000. So that you have to keep in mind in this case. Now illegal and tainted income. Now what is illegal and tainted income? Income is income, though tainted. Thus illegal income is also tax. That means income tax department doesn't bother whether income is legal or illegal. Whether income is legal, illegal or tainted income. Income is income, though tainted. Thus illegal income is also tax. For purpose of income tax, there is no difference between legal and tainted income. Case law. If smuggling activity can be regarded as a business, confiscation of currency notes by custom authority is a loss which is directly relatable to carry of business and thus is permissible as deduction. Means what? If smuggling activity can be regarded as a business, confiscation of currency notes by a custom authority is a loss which is directly relatable to carry of business and thus is permissible deduction. So that is a one case law given here. If person is earning income by smuggling, then also it is considered as income business. And if custom department forfeits certain currency, in that case it is considered as permissible deduction. So now that is why we income tax doesn't bother about whether income is illegal or tainted. Tainted means through some not a proper way. Dispute income. Any dispute regarding the title of the income cannot stop the assessment of the income in the hands of the recipient. Thus, disputed income is taxable in the hands of recipient, though there may be rival claims to the income. Means the person who is receiving the income, who is in the receipt of the income, in that hand it is taxable even though title is in dispute. Title is in dispute means what? The own, who is the real owner of that particular, let us say one property is there. Now from this property income is generating, now this property income is coming. Now this property is in dispute. Mr. X is the owner or Mr. Y is the owner, so that is not known. But now whatever rent comes from this property, it is enjoyed by Mr. X. Now it is considered as income of Mr. X and not Mr. Y, because who is enjoying the property? Here Mr. X is enjoying the property, so that is why he has to pay tax on the same. Contingent income. A contingent income is not income until the contingency has happened. It cannot be assumed that the income has accrued or arisen to the assessee. Means if there is a contingency that income may arise, so that do not constitute an income. If that contingency arises and income comes in the hands of the recipient, then only it is considered as income, otherwise it is not considered as income. Now personal gift of personal nature do not constitute income up to 50,000 in received in cash. So this you have to remember. It can be asked as a MCQ also. Gift of rupees 50,000 is exempt. But however, gift in kind having fair market value more than 50,000 is wholly taxable. That we will discuss in income from other sources. But here, if any person receive gift of 51,000, then full 51,000 is taxable. If person receive gift of 49,999, then it is totally exempt. If we receive gift of 50,000, then it is taxable. If we receive gift of 51,000, then it is taxable. If we receive gift here, not exempt will not come, it will become, it is not taxable, it is exempt. So that you have to write down. This can be asked in the MCQ form. Now composite income. Income tax is a tax on all incomes received by or arising to a taxpayer during a financial year. Whatever, there are total five sources, five heads of income. So now person has to pay tax on all incomes reside arising from all source of income. Now what is pin money? Pin money received by woman. Money given to a woman by her husband for running the expenses of the kitchen would not be income in the eyes of law. Any property acquired using such money saving is a capital asset of the lady. That means if any money given by husband to wife, then it is considered as pin money, and by using that pin money if any asset is bought, then it is considered as capital asset of that lady, and not it is not considered as a income of that person who is giving the money. Now lump sum receipt in a lump sum or in installment would not affect its taxability. If a person receives arrears of salary in a lump sum amount, it would still be his income. Now, what is arrears of salary? Arrears of salary means salary, let us say salary 2022. In 2022, if you receive salary of 2021, full salary of 2021 you receive in 2022, then it is considered as arrear salary of 2021, and it is taxable in the year of receipt. Now this is received in a lump sum way, so if it is received in a lump sum way, then also it is a taxable. Income must come from outside. A person cannot earn income from himself. That means what? In case of mutual activities where some people contribute to a common fund and are entitled to participate in the fund, and a surplus arises which are distributed to the contributors of the fund, such surplus cannot be called as income. Let us say Mr. X, Y, Z. Three person have started one fund. They have created one fund for the whole year. Now by you creating this fund, everybody is providing 10,000. Now from this they are using daily expenses like tea, snacks and etc. Now at the end of the year 3,000 is left. Now this 3,000 is distributed between X, Y and Z, and each one will get 1,000. Now this 1,000 will not be considered as income, because it is income must come from outside. You cannot generate income from yourself only. So they have contributed, now they are getting the same amount that they have contributed earlier, so that is not considered as income of that person. So these are the principle that you have to keep in mind, so that you will get an idea, okay, what are the different principles related to the incomes.